Okay, part two of the belief quiz results. This is actually going to be in the upper left-hand quadrant. And understand, we were talking about liberals and libertarians in the first piece. This quadrant up here is going to have a little bit of mix of libertarian to it, but it's going to be completely opposite of liberal. This group is actually going to believe, because we're now north of the horizontal line, that in fact government should regulate some moral issues. In fact, it is going to believe, in this instance, like libertarians, that government should stay out of economic or wallet issues. And since it is the exact opposite of liberals, maybe, in fact, it kind of makes sense that this group is actually what are known as my conservatives. These are my conservatives. Now, I'll be fairly brief with this. Conservatives are going to believe in regulating moral issues. Regulating moral issues. So when we talk about this, they're going to believe in no abortion. They're going to believe in school prayer. They're going to believe in no gay marriage. They're going to believe the idea that you should be able to protect your property and you should be able to shoot if threatened typically, and they're certainly not going to believe in the legalization of weed. With this said, in terms of economics, they're going to believe again that the more that you earn, the more that you should be able to keep. So everybody should be taxed equally, not in terms of dollars, but in terms of percentages typically. Republicans are going to believe that government should stay out of the economy, as minimal of regulation as possible. However, they're going to believe very, very strongly in government regulating morals. So the government cannot spend my money for me better than I can spend it for myself, but the government can make better decisions, social decisions for people, than they could make for themselves. You'll notice, Brian, both Brians in fact, Martin, Brit, Laurencia, and Emily, all of you scored as very strong conservatives. And you'll notice up here with Laurencia and Emily, it looks like on 6 of the 7 questions dealing with economics, y'all said that government should stay away from your wallet and stay away from your property. Y'all are very, very strong conservatives economically. On 5 of the 7 questions, y'all said that government should stay out of, or should regulate moral things. There are certain things that people shouldn't be allowed to do, and government should be able to step up and stop them. In fact, with Laurencia and Emily, you are good, solid conservatives regarding moral regulations, but you're even stronger conservatives regarding the government staying away from your property. Martin and Brit, you guys, or both of you, actually took it a step further. On 6 of the 7, y'all said that government should stay out of the wallet, just like, in fact, Laurencia and Emily. However, on 6 of the 7, y'all said that government should regulate moral issues. So y'all actually stepped it up even stronger, really 1 question away from a perfect score on both, at least a perfect score as far as being a conservative would be concerned. You'll notice that the liberals are actually catty-cornered down here. And what this effectively means is liberals and conservatives share nothing in common. Not their belief in government regulation of bedroom or wallet. Conservatives believe in regulating the bedroom and staying out of the wallet. Liberals believe in regulating the wallet and staying out of the bedroom. There's one last quadrant that I wanted to give you today. And this last quadrant is actually going to be just to the right of the conservatives. You folks are going to believe that government should, in fact, regulate economic issues. Y'all are going to believe, in fact, that government should regulate moral issues. If you remember at the beginning, we talked about libertarians. Libertarians, the government that governs best is the government that governs least. Well, you folks up here are going to be believing, in fact, that government does need to regulate, and not just on economic issues. Yeah, government can spend people's money for them better than the people can spend it for themselves, but government can make better moral decisions for the people than the people can make for themselves too. If you believe, in fact, that government can make better decisions than the people, Joe and Jane Sixpack, can make for themselves, you are what are known as the populists. The populists. Now, with the populists, you folks are going to believe, in fact, that government should regulate money issues. Take from the rich and give to the poor. Have income tax rates that are going to be higher the more that you earn and lower for the less that you earn. This should sound an awful lot like liberals, in fact, because there is a lot of overlap. But populists are going to sound like conservatives, in fact, when it comes to moral issues. There are certain types of conduct that we need to limit, that we need to regulate. And this is where you start getting into prayer. This is where you start getting into abortion. This is, in fact, where you start getting into things like same-sex marriage, opening strip clubs across the street from people's houses. These are things that government can make better decisions on than the people can make for themselves. You'll notice up here, Grace, Christian, Marquez, Alex, Corey, Shauna, and then in fact Maritza up here. And you'll notice, you know, Grace, Christian, Marquez, Marquel, all of you are basically one question away. If you change one question, you could have ended up in any of these four boxes, just like Brian and Brian when they were leaning toward conservative before. So it's not that you are especially populist, but in fact what it really means is that in fact you, depending upon the issue, are going to be more inclined to make your decisions rather than just falling in one of these four categories. You can fall in any of them. You'll notice Shauna and Corey over here. On 6 of the 7 questions, y'all believe that government should regulate economics. On 5 of the 7 questions, y'all believe that government should regulate morals. Y'all are good, solid populists. Maritza, dear God, on 4 of the 7 questions, you believe that government should regulate the wallet. You are leaning regulation in terms of economic issues. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on 6 of the 7 questions, you believe that government should regulate morals. There are certain things that people should not do, and you believe that government should stop them. The danger with being a populist is that the more that you try and regulate, the more that you want to regulate. So if you can regulate something and it makes people better, you start thinking that you can regulate everything and in fact make everything better. And the danger with a populist is in fact that you could become what is known as a dictator. Meaning you're going to want to try and regulate or govern everything. If you get a question on this exam, who in class is most likely to be the dictator, it's probably going to be Maritza because of the moral stances up there. But the other piece to this is, if you're populist, typically you've got some control issues. And when you have control issues, this can sometimes get you in some trouble. Regardless, as you look at these 4 quadrants, understand the relationship between government regulation of bedroom and wallet issues and be able to relate it to these 4 categories: populist, liberal, libertarian, and conservative. And remember, we had articles that dealt with a number of these different things. Relate these articles back to. Good luck as you prepare for the midterm.